Okay, how do you feel about that?
Well, I'll say something about that. I don't feel that people can. A lot of people here cannot afford $300 or $400. They can't. I think if they have to pay it, they're going to just they're just going to let their apartments go. Some of them, they will just. They're on the brink right now. Most people, a lot of people are on the brink and they're living from dollar to dollar. And I just don't think they're going to pay it.
Thank you.
I think I made this comment too when this was brought up. The accountant did say that it's basically for a contingency. So my point is, yeah, we possibly should have that there. This is my opinion. In case of, if it does happen, you know, then we need to assess everyone. Obviously, we'll have a reason for that assessment, but we don't need $200,000 as an extra, just as a something that we have for an emergency. That's the way I understood it. So that's my opinion.
I am also against having an assessment. Reason being that the board never met with 9 people giving their input and checking any other alternatives. We also have a meeting on September 16th, which is a pre-mediation with citizens, which means if we're successful there, we can have a good idea where we may get minimum of $1 million. Now, we can't spend $1 million, I'm not sure we're going to get it, but the easiest thing that this board does, and remember, they've got 5 votes, is to have an assessment. I'm against it because nobody has analyzed any other way to go. There are many other alternatives that can be explored. Wachovia is not the only bank in America. There are other banks. Wachovia cost us $53,000 in legal fees and for the right to convert this loan. What?
Because of you.
Not because of me.
Yeah.
Because of you. You blew it, not me.
You and Scott.
Yeah, we caused it, right.
Right.
You didn't blow the SBA, Mr. Big Shot.
All right, hold on a second.
But we're not here to call names.
Stewart.
The point I'm trying to make is you must explore every avenue before you go on the backs of your people. That's the last resort.
There is one thing we can do. Can I say something? There's one thing we can do.
You want to talk about
Wait a minute.
Whoa, sit up, right?
There's one thing we can do. If we get rid of this management company, which for some reason these other 5 board members don't want to do it, and just hire even a part-time manager, just 2 or 3 days a week, we'd be saving probably $80,000 to $100,000.
More.
Yeah, or more than that. But you know, all we have to do is just get a part-time manager. George is doing most of the work now anyway. Nobody's monitoring what George is doing. I mean, it's not like Howard's there giving him a checklist and then checking it when he comes in. George is doing the work. So why do we need Howard? Howard's not doing anything. He sits in the office all day. He puts in half days, and he's on his computer all day. I've been in there. I was there as president for the first 3 or 4 months. I observed him. That's why I tried to fire him. Couldn't do it. The other board members overruled me.
Okay, I feel that we need this money. But I would like to suggest when the board has the meeting, I don't know when the schedule is going to be, the week of the 20th. It was originally for the 10th, but it's been postponed now. To take a vote on levying a 1-month assessment is going to be sometime during the week of September 20th. I would like to make a motion at that time that if we get any funds back from citizens, like Stuart said, on September 16th, we're going to have a pre-mediation meeting and see how much money we get. But if we get any money back, I want to put into that assessment that if we do get enough money back, and we're going to collect about $200,000 from this 1-month assessment. But if we get it back from the insurance company, I want the unit owners repaid for that one. In other words, that would be the provision. Take the money temporarily. If we get our insurance, I want the money back to the people.
You don't need it. You don't need this money in October. We're sitting here tonight.
Arthur.
We have a town hall meeting tonight.
Arthur, wait, I'll get him. Take the mic. Wait a minute. Make sure it's on.
Tell me how we don't need the money.
1 second.
If not October, November?
1 second. We're making a mistake here tonight
Turn around.
We're making a mistake tonight. We've been making the same mistake since January 2009. In 2009, when this budget was approved, the budget was approved with an $80,000 deficit. That should have given someone a key that we need help, that the management company has to do something to relieve the $80,000 in debt, overpayment. Now we had a budget meeting, I was not there, I get certain piece of paper, and all of a sudden, at the budget meeting, we're waking up. We're waking up that we could have some reduction, maybe cutting the lawn, maybe in a clubhouse, where we can pick up X amount of money. I'm saying to you, we have a very incomplete financial statement from K&W.
We agree.
Okay.
And excuse me,
Okay.
let me finish. The time has come. I don't know how we're going to do it, but somebody has to make a change in running this condo. Instead of going
the president to do that.
slowly.
We can't do anything.
But instead of going up, we're going down. In other words, in this financial statement,
No matter how you slice it, we're going broke. If it's not October, it'll be November. If it's not in November, it'll be December.
But we're going broke.
We're going broke on it.
excuse
But
me,
if we families we cut back, why you don't cut back?
but don't,
Why you don't cut back in
Scott,
your expenses? If we cut back as families, why you don't cut back?
let me finish. Scott,
Why don't we cut back on our expenses? Well, that's what we'd like to do.
Okay, cut back.
But
I
we're
cut
not,
back.
we're not.
I stopped going out
But Frank, we're not the majority here. We don't have that to say.
Okay.
It's got to be majority board members.
Scott, when I am saying, I'm trying to protect our unit owners. They can't afford an extra,
We know that.
and it's up to them, it's maybe up to you four to do something about it instead of sitting and
We
tomorrow
can't
morning.
vote. They got us beaten
But then-
5 to
They
4.
don't want to even come and talk about it tonight. Come on, Arthur. They're not here. They were invited.
But excuse me, but if you have an extra
We're not
month,
magicians.
if you have an extra month's pay in October, you're going to have more delinquency. Right now,
That's only
Yeah.
to
If
get
we-
So
you.
some of the people
I'm
can't
the
pay
first
that.
one.
There's no foreclosure at the end of the year. So figure that out.
has any one of you four gone to our collection agency and had a one-to-one
We're
conversation?
not allowed to
We're
speak
not
to
allowed
that.
to do it.
That's wrong.
Well, what do you want from us? Change the
But if we're
rules.
not allowed, because
Then-
only the officers.
Only Michael Shanko can speak to
But we
that.
got,
And
look,
Ambrose and Sid are the only ones.
but you have some good friends, attorney,
You can tell them
Katzman
to
and
stop
Gore.
paying once you get the
Maybe
assessment.
we have,
He's not allowed to talk either.
but we can't go on like,
Lawyers will not talk to us.
we can't go on like this.
So what do you want us to do?
If you are willing to have a, what do you call it, a state come in here in January and sit on your hands. We have to do something, Scott.
Jackie, it takes a majority of 5 to do anything, Jackie.
I mean,
Jerry, you said enough already. We don't want to have any more fights. We got to finish what we're doing. We're not giving you money.
Jerry, the best thing you can do for the village is lend us, take your bunch of investors, Elam Weiss, and all the guys you got, Dougie Myers, get the $1 million, lend it to us, we'll pay you nice interest, and we won't have this assessment, and we won't have a maintenance increase, and we'll be able to buy our own apartments. And you can be in charge of the foreclosure committee. How about that?
And we'll give you
Jerry.
collateral.
Jerry.
It's collateral.
Jerry, I looked into this, guys. There is a way to do it, because there's people here that own more than one unit, other than Jerry, and the ones you're mentioning. All right? This is a possibility, but you'd have to check it out legally. We could establish a REIT, a real estate investment trust. I mentioned it the other night, and everybody looked at me like I was crazy. All right? In that REIT, we could name, okay, the association as the benefactor in charge of the REIT. And you can establish, and we would give out stocks to people that wanted to invest in the village. All right? It doesn't necessarily, but again, the lawyer would have to verify this. It doesn't necessarily have to be a corporation. By its definition, it's a real estate investment trust. We would give out stocks.
That is an entity That's in the documents now they're trying to take out.
Well, maybe this is the long-term goal of it, but this is the way it would be done. Okay, each investor has to be paid back. And when you establish a trust, you get stocks. And then when the REIT is dissolved at some point, or you want to buy out, you make, and again, you'd have to get probably a real estate attorney involved. You would make the association, like, and I'm oversimplifying it, but you would make the association the CEO of the trust, like Madoff was. Okay? And he made billions. Okay? So you make the association
That was not a good example.
the trustee of the REIT.
You go to Francis Mezzo tomorrow with your...
I'm not going to Francis. But, you know, maybe this is what this investments consortium has in the back of their minds, because I can't believe you guys are so heavily invested. I have investment properties, and over the years have made money on REITs. And you acted like you never even heard of the name REIT before. Yeah. Mark Jones mentioned it. He said what you were describing at the meeting was a REIT. That's exactly what it is.
Yeah, all right.
I'm not against investing here. We've got to get out of this hole. But there's a lot of things. I've seen emails from Michelle, you know, and other people. You know, we need to cut back. If self-managing the complex is a way to go, if cutting the grass, I understand we pay $2,500 every time the grass is cut. Something like that. It's a high number. So maybe instead of getting it cut every 2 weeks, we get it cut every 3 weeks. There's a lot of things we got to cut. But we are losing money. And I just want to comment one more thing. I think we should really seriously consider the REIT. But what Arthur mentioned about this 1 month assessment, last year this budget was approved with an $80,000 deficit. The year before, the budget was approved with a $200,000 deficit. But we had some cash. So what the attorneys and our accountant did was they switched some money over, because the state doesn't allow you, right, Arthur? The budget has to be fully funded. Anything that's in the red this year has to be paid for immediately next year. And that's probably why Ron, our accountant, wants to have this contingency fund to cover the loss. Maybe there's a potential loss. I'm not on a board anymore. I don't check out the financials. I don't know. But that's one thing. But I think we should really look at creating this consortium as a REIT, if that's a way to go.
To answer this young man's question, at the budget meeting that we had last week, it was proposed by, in writing, from Mark Jones, one of the members of the budget committee who is an owner, and he had listed a lot of areas to cut back to try to reduce the expenditures to balance the budget. So that was a preliminary meeting. It was the first meeting, and they did try to reduce the budget, you know, based on things that were reducible, like cutting the...
My intention would have been a 5% increase in January to cover our deficit, operating deficit.
5% increase in the maintenance charges, in the maintenance? Well, it seems like most of the people are not interested in an increase. They don't want an increase, although, you know...
The accountant already said that, in his opinion, we need an 8 to 10%. And if we continue on the same road, it's going to be 15% in January.
Well, that's based on doing the same things.
We're getting worse every month.
Well, I say, but that's based on doing the same things. That's why there'll be an increase. But if they cut back in areas, then there wouldn't necessarily be that percentage increase. It's a percentage over last year doing the same things. And we're talking about not doing the same things. To me, I think the important thing is revenue collection, and that's getting everybody, as many people as possible, to pay their maintenance and assessments and to collect on the delinquencies, more so than cutting back. So that's where my focus would be, getting the money that's owed to us. Getting one way of doing that is getting the foreclosures finished and making money for the village. And then the next is trying to take care of the delinquencies. Yeah, going after, you know, it sounds, the way you say going after, it sounds like these are all bad people. Again, I don't think that they're bad people. I think...
For example, one person
We're not talking about one. We're not. They're one. You're sure. Well, you're mad at one, but you're right. There are people that always abuse a system. Always. That's just the way it is. And well, that's what we need to be doing something about it. And now what's happening, from what I read in the paper, is that people who are legitimate people see people not paying, who should be paying, and then they're saying to themselves, why should we pay? And that's compounding the problem. So you're right, and Scott's right. We need to address the problem, but we need to address it intelligently, not by name calling. These aren't deadbeats. These are people who can't afford to pay, many of them. And there may be ways to help them be able to pay. But it's a one-on-one thing. I know when I was president for 3.5 months, there were 3 individuals that came to me, and they presented their problem. One was in the cleaning business and it wasn't working out, and he needed some time. So we gave him some time, we took some data checks, and he caught up, and we canceled some late fees. Like Scott said, there's fees in this income statement that, you know, you look at those fees, but all you're doing is burying or helping to continue bury the debtor by just piling legal fees and late fees and fees on them. You want them to pay what they owe, and you don't want to continue burying them unless they're no good, and that's something else. So you have to have an open heart. These are people, many of them, not all of them, but many of them are people that are just on bad times. They lost their job, they lost their business. We were very nice. The committee was very nice to a debtor who I happen to know personally that owned a unit, and he was terrific. He had his own business here, okay? But he lost his business and had to move to Boston and get a job. And so he came and called us and said, look, I like it here, I like the thing, like my unit, but I'm going to have it foreclosed. I'm not going to be able to pay my mortgage unless I can get a tenant in there. I've owned it for 10 months, okay, and we were, you know, we gave him permission, the board gave him permission to rent it, even though it was only 10 months. And he's paying, he's not late, he's paying his...
You're going to assess the rest of us, right? And I can guarantee you a lot of people ain't going to want to pay this assessment.
I'm the first one.
They're struggling.
Thank you, Jerry. You're welcome.
How about going after these investors who are collecting rent and not paying the association?
Okay, we haven't had any concerted effort here in the past 3 years to establish bona fide committees. You can't run this community. No 9-member board can run this community without having enough committees. We used to have committees in building captains, we had budget committees, we used to have construction committees, we had a million kinds of committees. There's been no committees formed here. It can't be done. What we have to do is try to convince the leadership, the 5-member majority board, that they have to make a concerted effort to establish committees. We told them 20 months ago that we need committees. There's a lot of talented people here in the village who could serve on these committees. And you know what? We don't have it. The president picks out a few people and said, you're the committee. Another couple here, you're the committee. They don't hold proper meetings. They're not bona fide committees. We can get them. The people are here. We have every kind of talent living in the village. People in construction, legal, real estate, mortgages, and they should be having these committees meet, research every possibility before an assessment comes in, before a maintenance increase comes in, to give you real good facts on what other options can you do. But we don't have that. We got a 5-person majority board that makes up their mind, and that's what they do, and it's all over. So until we can correct that problem, we won't have it. The maintenance increase, which is on the agenda, will probably be, in my opinion, the accountant said 8 to 10%, but at the rate that we're losing money, we can't cut anymore. We could shut down the pools. That's not going to save that much. Shut off the heaters in the outdoor pool, use the indoor pool, destroy virtually our community. On the budget, they want to take one man of our maintenance cut out the landscaper and make him cut all the grass and do all the landscaping all week long. That's what he'd be doing all month. That's the only way they can do anything is to cut. There's no intelligent way to stop the bleeding. So cutting has a bottom to how much you cut. That's it. We can't cut much more. We should cut the management company out right away and have a financial management company and save that money immediately. And that's what we should be doing, but the leadership doesn't want to do that. Yes, Jackie?
Question. Wasn't there a meeting for next week?
I can't hear you, Jackie.
Was there a meeting for next week?
Meeting for next week. No, that meeting was canceled. It was
The meeting for the 10th was canceled. It's going to be redone.
Wouldn't know about it.
Huh?
Wouldn't know about it.
It's up to the president to post that.
Because a lot of people are planning to come to the meeting next week, and now you guys having a meeting tonight.
Well, the manager told us yesterday, was it yesterday? He said they're going to have a new meeting. But he should have put up a notice, but it's not, we can't walk around behind these people and do it.
Well, you know, it's sad. You guys want the owners to get involved. Next week, a lot of owners want to come to the meeting. And there's no meeting next week. We didn't even know there was a, I happened to be going to the gym. That's why I found out about this.
Well, we'll tell him, he was here tonight, the interim manager. Well, our manager's away. The interim manager is taking over for Howard. So he should have posted that notice, absolutely.
Excuse me.
Because he
There
told
was
us.
in the washroom and all the postal thing for the meeting tonight was posted, but then all of a sudden they disappeared. So, because my husband didn't know.
Not the meeting for tonight. He's talking about the meeting.
Yeah, but
for the
she's
10th.
saying people didn't know about the meeting tonight
Oh, is
too.
that what you said?
Yeah, that Jerry didn't know
It was
because
posted,
they
but
went,
it
all the
was
notices
down.
went missing.
Oh, I know.
Our notice for tonight was ripped out. But
Yeah, they were all ripped out.
We would be happy if you people would like to have this type of a town hall type meeting where we can tell you what we know and you can ask questions, because the board is not doing that. And we want to have an open board here.
Can we have one every week? Can we get these done?
If you guys don't mind,
They can't stop us.
if you guys don't mind, we can have a town hall meeting next week and bring you up to date on what we have.
One of the things I know is that we can contact
I told you, but explain. We're trying to avoid it.
The car wash, that's one of the things I think we could cut back on big time. I think if we have a meter